Emily Carter had spent nearly an hour deciding what to wear, even though the mirror kept showing her the same reflection. A 29-year-old woman with calm eyes, a soft smile, and a heart that carried too many quiet disappointments. Outside her small apartment in downtown Chicago, December snow drifted down like scattered memories. Christmas lights decorated the streets, glowing with promise. Emily exhaled slowly, picked up her coat, and reminded herself this was just a blind date, nothing more. The cafe near Michigan Avenue was warm and smelled of cinnamon and coffee. A small Christmas tree stood by the window, decorated with red ribbons and tiny bells. Emily arrived early, as always. She ordered hot cocoa, wrapped her hands around the mug, and tried not to imagine too much. Her friend had sworn this man was different, kind, established, ready for something serious. Emily wanted to believe that. She always did. When he finally walked in, she spotted him immediately. Tall, neatly dressed, confident. He scanned the cafe, noticed her, and walked over. For a brief second, Emily felt hope flutter in her chest. But as he got closer, she noticed the change. His smile stiffened. His eyes quickly measured her, not unkindly, but not warmly either. "Emily?" he asked. "Yes." "Hi," she replied, standing slightly before sitting back down. He sat across from her, placing his phone on the table. The silence felt heavier than it should have. He asked a few polite questions, where she worked, how her holidays were going, but his attention kept drifting. His replies were short, distant. Emily felt it, that familiar sinking feeling she had learned to recognize far too well. Then his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, his expression shifting with sudden relief. "I'm really sorry," he said, already half standing. "Something urgent just came up. Work stuff. I have to go." "Oh, okay," Emily replied quietly, forcing a polite smile. He nodded, mumbled another apology, and walked out, leaving behind two untouched cups and a humiliation Emily knew too well. Emily didn't cry, not yet. She sat there, staring into her cocoa as the steam faded. Around her, people laughed, couples leaned close, families talked excitedly about Christmas plans. She felt invisible, again. Maybe, she thought, maybe something really was wrong with her. She considered leaving, but the snow outside looked colder than her disappointment. So she stayed, watching the lights through the window. That's when she heard giggling. Across the cafe, at a corner table, two identical little girls had their faces pressed to the glass, waving at the falling snow. They wore matching red dresses and had their hair tied in neat pigtails. One of them noticed Emily looking. Instead of looking away, the little girl smiled, wide and fearless. She nudged her sister, whispered something, and suddenly both of them were staring at Emily with open curiosity. Emily felt something soften inside her. She raised her mug slightly in an awkward greeting. The twins giggled again. A moment later, they slipped off their chairs. Emily straightened slightly as the two little girls stopped beside her table. Up close, they were even more identical. Same dimples, same curious brown eyes, same hopeful expressions. One of them gently touched the edge of the empty chair across from Emily. "Are you alone?" she asked softly. Emily blinked in surprise, then nodded. "I guess I am." The girls exchanged a serious look, as if silently consulting each other. Then the other one leaned forward, her voice barely above a whisper but clear enough to stop Emily's breath completely. "Will you be our mom?" The world seemed to pause. The noise of the cafe faded, and Emily felt a tight ache rise in her chest. She didn't know whether to laugh, cry, or apologize. Her first instinct was confusion. Then something deeper stirred, something warm and painful all at once. "Oh, sweetheart," Emily said gently, lowering herself to their eye level. "Why would you ask that?" Before either child could answer, a man hurried over, his face filled with concern. "Girls, I'm so sorry," he said, looking at Emily with embarrassment. They wandered off again. "I hope they didn't bother you." "No," Emily replied quickly. "They didn't bother me at all." He relaxed slightly and guided the girls back toward their table, but both twins kept turning around to look at Emily. A few moments later, the man returned alone, holding two small cups of milk. "I owe you an explanation," he said. "Their mother passed away 2 years ago. Since then," he hesitated. "They sometimes say things like that, especially around Christmas." Emily swallowed hard. "I'm really sorry." "Thank you," he replied. I'm Daniel, Emily. There was an awkward pause. Then one of the girls called out, Daddy, can Emily sit with us? Daniel looked uncertain, but Emily surprised herself by smiling. If that's okay, she said. So Emily moved to their table. The twins instantly lit up, asking her questions, what her favorite color was, if she liked Christmas cookies, whether she believed in Santa. Their joy was infectious. Emily laughed freely for the first time that evening. Daniel watched quietly, something thoughtful in his expression. They don't warm up to people easily, he admitted. Especially strangers. I'm honored, Emily said softly. Time passed without either of them noticing. Snow continued to fall outside as the cafe grew quieter. Eventually, Daniel paid the bill and gathered the coats. Thank you for staying, he said. You turned a rough night into a good one. Emily hesitated, then replied, mine too. As they stood to leave, one of the twins hugged Emily tightly. Can we see you again? She asked. Emily looked at Daniel, unsure. He smiled. Genuine this time. I'd like that too, if you're open to it. Emily stepped out into the cold night with a warmth she hadn't expected. She had arrived feeling rejected and invisible. She left feeling seen, needed, and strangely hopeful. Sometimes, she realized, a door has to close, so something unexpected and beautiful can open instead. Emily watched, surprised, as the two little girls walked toward her table, holding hands, completely unafraid, just as Christmas lights reflected hope in her tired eyes.